Hello guys and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be reacting to This Movie Is a Lie, the Monster House Theory. Now it's October, so we're going to be going through a whole lot of horror related videos and games. Because in October it's Halloween and Halloween is scary. So yeah, if you do like this video then drop a like and subscribe. And Monster House is actually one of my favourite movies, which is why I picked it. And so let's see why the movie is a lie.
Honestly, you guys, Monster House is such an iconic movie from the 2000s. I mean, the animation may be a little awkward sometimes, but it adds to it. You know, it contributes to the whole vibe of the movie. The thing is, when you're just watching the movie to enjoy time, you don't really realize how this movie makes absolutely no sense.
I actually quite enjoy the movie though.
House that got possessed by the spirit of someone's wife seeking out revenge? Sure, that's absurd, but not as absurd as the timeline of this movie. It makes no sense whatsoever. And I already know that many of you will not agree with me at all, but I just don't see how there's any other logical explanation for this. And I'll be the first to say that I don't really like this theory that I'm about to bring forward to you. I don't want this.
So why are you making this video then? How is this movie a lie? Tell us as a community how this one excellent great film that I can watch over and over is a lie.
Is to be the reason why, because it just takes all the magic out of this movie. So that's why I'm begging you to come up with your own explanations to salvage this movie, because I'm about to ruin it. Anyway, okay, this movie revolves around DJ, Chowder, and Jenny, some 12-year-old kids that are obsessed with this old man that lives across the street. Well, DJ and Chowder are. Jenny just stumbles upon this adventure through her bad luck. Anyway, DJ's parents leave town for the weekend or something, and this babysitter steps in their place.
Gosh, DJ, why'd you break that?
Yeah, Z ain't a very good babysitter.
I'm not your friend.
But the story isn't about her, it's about these kids. Anyway, well, Chowder and DJ then begin to play basketball, and through their lack of skill set in this sport, they end up shooting the basketball all the way down to Mr. Nevercracker's front yard. Ain't that just pure luck?
I don't really understand what you're trying to get across, because all you're doing is explaining the story, and that's pretty much it. Chowder's parents go out, it's 3 kids, the 2 kids are playing basketball, the basketball's goes on the crazy old man's house. Oh my god, what a coincidence, blah blah blah. Tell us the lie. Tell us why the movie's a lie. Stop just explaining the story.
Pure bad luck? Well, to no one's surprise, Mr. Nevercracker stomps down his front porch to pick DJ up and yell at him about how disrespectful he must be.
Why can't you just stay away from her?
Yep, there you go.
It appears that he has now just died on top of DJ, and now he's getting sent to the hospital. Huh. Typical morning. Well, now that Mr. Nevercracker is gone, strange things begin to occur.
Yep.
DJ has this very bizarre dream about the house. He gets a phone call from the house, even though no one is home. Bones,
Yep.
Z's horrible boyfriend, disappears.
Personally, I don't think he's so horrible. I think he just got drunk, and that's it. You know, lad with his girlfriend got drunk a bit, got too hyper, and you know, he's not all that bad, in my opinion.
Then we find out that the house itself is alive.
Given in the name Monster House, I think we already knew that the house is gonna be alive. Just saying.
And this is when a sweet, red-haired 12-year-old
Okay, let's cut the crap.
Why do you have to point out that she's red-haired? You can just say, and then this girl called Jenny came along.
Okay, this is when Jenny came into the picture.
Yeah, big. Don't go just said that.
Further! Come here! Yes, over here!
But that's pretty much it. The whole
Yep.
movie is just about these 3 kids that are against this monster house. I mean, you've seen the movie.
Why does she say Monster House? Like, it isn't a monster house. Like, this box of cereal, which I really enjoy. The way I say it is indicating that I don't think it's a box of cereal. I don't know why it's in my room, but it is.
You know how it goes. So
Yes.
here's the thing. In preparation for this video, in preparation for any video, I always do research as best as I can. I try and pull as much information from any given character as best as possible to deliver you a decent video. But with this movie, that was kind of hard to do because the movie doesn't give you much about any character, to be honest. Like, we don't know most of their ages. We don't know their full names. We don't know why Chowder's mom is cheating on his dad.
My dad's at the pharmacy and my mom's at the movies with her personal trainer.
But this is what I do know.
Personal trainer. Might not all be cheating. Maybe. But why does that matter anyway? What this person is doing is they're taking points that aren't necessary. The film is called Monster House, not called Chowder's dad cheats on wife or whatever, is it?
They are in Wisconsin. This movie was released in 2006, but according to many sites about the movie, it took place in the year 1983, which adds up because the police car is definitely not from the 2000s. And again, according to many sites, Constance passed away in the year 1960, which would leave a 23-year gap between the years 1960 and 1983 in the present day. Which, okay, he could have been like 40 back then and now he's like 63 or something. Makes sense, right? Wrong. This is where the weirdness starts to begin.
Finally! Because I've not been waiting about 4 minutes for this to happen. Let's get going.
If you recall, after the kids and Mr. Nevercracker finally destroy the house for good, we see him and Constance in a very sweet moment together. But after that moment ends,
45 years. We have been trapped for
45 years? Excuse me, what? How is that even remotely possible? The house wasn't finished until after her death. And even then, only 23 years have passed since her death. So then I was like, maybe perhaps the sites have the dates wrong? There's just no way. So what I did is I left the present date alone because,
Halloween.
it's clear. It took place in the 80s, come on. But perhaps she didn't die in 1960. Maybe she died earlier. So here's what I did.
Yeah, but why would she die earlier, though? I don't know if I understand that or not.
The men's fashion.
I don't know if I understand that or not, because he's building the house, she dies, he has to finish the house himself. So unless it took him about 17 or so years to continue to build the house, then that would be the only way it could make any sense. I'm not sure.
Women's fashion and the type of pickup trucks that they had around the 60s, the 50s, and the 40s to see when she could have died, you know? And what I found was, well,
Nothing.
not very helpful because suspenders were popular from the 40s to the 60s. Ruffles in women's dresses were popular from the 40s to the 60s, and we never actually saw the pickup truck. We only saw the silhouette of the pickup truck, but what I found is that this type of silhouette was around in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, so not very helpful there. But before the 40s, this type of truck wasn't really around, so, you know, we could infer it was at least in the 40s, so say it was in the 40s, right? So from 1940 to 1983, give or take a few years maybe, we are at 43 years and almost to our goal 45 years, so hey, the timeline is fixed. We're done. There's no more issue with the timeline anymore. But then, nope. Then I saw a picture on the wall of Mr. Nevercracker.
Okay, so you managed to fix that point up, meaning this video is still pointless. So the movie's not a lie, it's just basically really confusing. And besides, it's a kids film. So kids aren't gonna be bothered by that anyway, so
In some sort of war. Judging by the uniforms and judging by the background of these palm trees and judging by the timeline, we can infer that they are fighting in World War II. They are fighting the battle near Pacific Theater. Well, World War II was between the years of 1942 and 1945, and the battles fought over there were between the years 1942 and again 1945. So they couldn't have met before then. I don't think so. So perhaps they met after the war. But if they did meet after the war, then it wouldn't be 45 years in between. It would be less. Well, what if they met in between the war, I hear you say, or hear you type in the comments. But no, that's not possible. Remember, they built their house all the way up in Wisconsin, and the war was all the way over here. So no, that's not possible at all. The timeline is just messed up. Like, there's just no possible way there could be 45 years in between. And this is when I remember something strange about
Okay, tell us.
This house is being loud and destructive. Just listen to this.
I already know what she's gonna say with this, because this, even if it's not being, it could be as silent as a mouse. If power lines go out, you can literally see the monster house getting up and walking off, and no one bothers to think what the hell is happening, and the ambulance is there the entire time. That's what she's going to say.
Tell me how no one heard this. And nope, nuh-uh. You can't tell me that they were all asleep, because if you remember, it was the night of Halloween. Everyone is out that night. There's no way nobody heard it.
Okay, so maybe they was all away? Trick-or-treating far away out the neighborhood? I mean, not everyone goes trick-or-treating though, so...
But according to the movie, nobody did. Even the little girl at the end of the movie was like,
What happened to Nebuchadnezzar's house?
she don't know what happened to the house. This movie just doesn't make sense all around. It's kind of like if it were a dream. Oh my god, he's in a coma. Wait, don't.
That was a dark turn! Stop it! I don't really think the movie needs to make much sense, because we're children and children watch this. I think it's up to the children to think of their own conspiracy theories. So, because, you know, children's minds like creative and everything. That's my opinion, so.
Don't click out of this video just yet. Hear me out.
Okay.
What if maybe he was having some sort of near-death experience?
Oh.
Maybe he was dreaming all of this up. 45 years? Maybe he was thinking about 1945 when the war finally ended. He clearly had no concept of time, and when you're dreaming, you clearly have no concept of time. By the way, it's very clear to see that Mr. Nevercracker never had any closure with his wife, and these rumors about him
He ate her!
made it worse. He felt guilty, and he was grieving her until the day she died. I mean, we see bits and parts of him through characters like DJ when he says,
I'm a murderer.
that he believes he's a murderer. And at the end of the movie, he reveals himself that he isn't a murderer.
You didn't kill her, did you?
And he defeats this so-called monster, and
It
finally...
is a monster! Why do you keep thinking it's not a monster? This so-called cereal box that is filled with cereal! Because it is!
finally gets to say goodbye to his wife and reveals why he was so cruel to the kids, and finally tying loose ends together for
There
the
we go.
kids he's mistreated during his life. And besides that, he escaped from the hospital and stole an ambulance.
He didn't,
You don't
he
think-
didn't steal an ambulance! He came... What?
And besides that, he escaped from the hospital and stole an ambulance.
One arm is broken. He cannot drive and use a joystick at the same time.
You don't think somebody would have come looking for him by now? That only happens in dreams. He was probably dreaming. Maybe this movie represents Mr. Nevercracker's journey to find closure with his wife. Wow, that's kind of beautiful. Maybe this theory isn't all that bad. But if you have any other theories, please let me know, because Mr. Nevercracker is such a sweetheart deep down and I don't want him to die. So please, let me know your explanations as to why the timeline doesn't match.
To be honest though, she kinda answered it herself. So there's not really anything to that. Anyway, that was This Movie's Lie, The Monster House Theory, because it's Halloween and we're just going to be going and reacting to Halloween stuff or scary films. So if you did enjoy this video, then drop a like and subscribe, and this person will be linked down below. I'm going to do Coraline next. I don't know when that's going to be uploaded or when I'm going to make it, but, be sure to tune into that one. And I will see you guys in the next one.